Hello again everyone, Scoons Comics here with another exciting, oh so thrilling, comic book haul! Yes! Hello! How is everybody doing? People, I have a giant stack of comic books here. I've got stuff from half-price books, from antique malls, even my local comic shop where I got a huge key for me, big key. First appearance of a character I've always wanted, never thought I'd get, and I did. Saving that for last, though. That's a little teaser for you. But first, a couple of non-comics. Big Death Superman fan. If you've seen my videos, you know this. I have all those comic books in that series. But online recently, I saw something I never considered to collect, the preview magazines that came out before the Death of Superman. Cool little collectible, oddity. So I picked this up. Previews from September 92, issue 9, Death of Superman. Dan Jurgens cover. This previews the issue. It's just a fun little collectible. It's a little timepiece. This is right when I started collecting. It previews all the comic books coming out the month of November of that year. Just a cool thing to have. I'm not one of these people that consider non-comic book appearances as like first appearances, but it's a fun little collectible and I was happy to pick it up. I also picked up, I don't know how well this will show up on here, but when he came back to life, this is previews from February 93, issue 2. I know it's all black, but it's like embossed Superman coming back, okay? So I got these for a couple of bucks on eBay. Fun little collectibles. Half Price Books has been good to me lately. I've been hunting there a lot because they just keep getting books in. So, let's see. I've got these, this is from several different hauls. I've got some Aldi's books in here too from our local Aldi's. I'll just start going through them, we'll see. So, Half Price Books, I'm a big Godzilla nerd. They had several of these Dark Horse Godzilla runs. Here's Godzilla Zero. And Color Special #1, this is an Art Adams cover. Here's the one I really got excited about. Godzilla King of the Monsters #1. Bloody Godzilla. Oh, that's so cool. None of these are really keys. You can get a few bucks for these, but I just think they're really cool looking comics. Godzilla #2. I like these better than the Marvel series because he actually looks like Godzilla here. And Godzilla #3, beautiful Art Adams cover. That's really cool. More half-price fun. I've just always liked this cover. Avengers West Coast #50, featuring the return of the original Human Torch. So I got my half-price $1.50 on there. This one's not in the best shape, but it was a newsstand. They had a bunch of newsstand copies of stuff at half price. And I picked this book up anytime I can find it for a couple bucks, even if it's beat like this. Spider-Man 2099 #1 newsstand edition. Look at all these spine ticks. I mean, I wouldn't pay more than $1.50 for this, but since it was $1.50, I picked it up. And then I've got a spinner rack in my comic book room because I'm cool like that. Not an original spinning rack, but a decent one. And I'm going to start really loading it with these newsstand editions. Stuff from when I was starting to collect, like Wildstar #1 from Image Comics, which is a nothing book, but it's a newsstand copy. Jerry Ordway. I remember this book on newsstands. Didn't really do very well, but I was right in the big Image boom. Similarly, Stormwatch #1. Newsstand edition. Again, just these Image books and newsstand are always kind of cool to me. Then I enjoy Edgar Rice Burroughs, John Carter, Warlord of Mars. And I've always been intrigued by this publisher, American Mythology. And they have a deal with Edgar Rice Burroughs' estate. So this is Carson of Venus #1. It's not very good. The artwork, the cover's pretty nice. The interior artwork's not very good, but I just wanted to check it out, so I got this for like $1. Okay, here's a couple I got from Ollie's. Ollie's, which is right next to Half Price Books, so when I go hunting at these spots, I just make sure I hit them both. And my Ollie's had nothing forever, but then suddenly they had a bunch of the multi-bags of comics on like a Sunday night. I was really thinking I was just gonna pop in there and then go home. No, they had a bunch of books, and I had to dig through them all because I'm a crazy person. So I'm sitting there, they're in little plastic, and I'm prying apart with my thumb to try to see all the books. I only picked up 2. This is Fantastic Four Annual 25, the Citizen Kang storyline. This features the first appearance of a bunch of characters that are Kang henchmen, basically. This is total spec on my part. It was a couple bucks, and obviously they're doing all these Kang movies now, so maybe this is something. I don't know. And they also had the first full appearance of Bishop in one of these multi-packs, Uncanny X-Men 283. So, pick those up for a couple bucks. Gosh, this one I got just today at half price. I had to run some errands, so I ran by. And here's a beautiful 60-cent copy, Detective Comics number 520, featuring this cool Hugo Strange cover. Look at that. Nothing key about this, but it's just a cool Batman book. I always pick up a cool Batman book. And I got a couple, look at these Captain Americas I picked up. This is a Bronze Age Captain America, 35 center. Captain America 229, $1.50. And then, oh my gosh, this one's a little beat up, but it's one I've wanted for a while. I've been on the lookout for. Captain America King Size Annual number 3 from 1976. Gorgeous Jack Kirby cover. Look at that. And it's got a huge ding in it right here. That's got a cut on the cover. Yeah. But for $1.50, I was amazed to find that in there. So that was a really cool pickup. I'll upgrade that when I can, but for $1.50, Jack Kirby will not be left behind. The final issue of Captain America Sentinel of Liberty, number 12. I just like picking up last issues. I like picking up last issues of books from before 2010 because usually they have these great letter pages that say goodbye to everyone. It's a cool little timepiece. Modern stuff, there's no real mention of it being the last issues. It's kind of a bummer, but that's really cool. Then I picked up Weird War Tales 118, featuring the Creature Commandos. This is a Gil Kane cover. I just always like the Creature Commandos. That's pretty rad. And this one I saw on like a good read list somewhere years ago, and I remember the cover. Weird War Tales 124. Featuring these 2 characters that have been locked in combat for generations. So I thought that was a good read, so I'll pick it up. I know nothing about this, but I knew it was a first appearance and people were excited about it a few years ago. Hillbilly number 1 by Eric Powell. Picked that up for $1.50. Here's a couple of really cool ones. Daredevil 250, featuring the first appearance of Bullet, minor bad guy. And then Daredevil 254, first Typhoid Mary. This is a little beat up, got some spine ticks. But first Typhoid Mary for $1.50 today. That was a great thing to go out and buy. A newsstand edition to boot, man. That's really cool. Oh, I love half price. They're all newsstand. Again, they got a bunch of newsstand stuff in. Excalibur number 1, newsstand edition. Book I didn't have, so for $1.50, why not? I've got probably 9 copies of this book now, so if it ever hits, I'm all set. Gambit number 1. Sadly, this is not a direct edition. This is newsstand, but first Gambit miniseries. I'll pick this up anytime I can find it for under $5, and today was $1.50. Oh my gosh, I need this whole series now. I picked this up just because I love the cover so much. Featuring 3 storylines that I love from DC Comics. This is a book called Legacies, number 8 from February 2011, featuring this gorgeous Dan Jurgens cover of all the different variations of the Superman, Azrael, Batman, and Hal Jordan as Parallax. I love this cover so much. Dan Jurgens does a bunch of interior art in this. I need this whole miniseries. This miniseries apparently just goes through the history of the DC Universe. As written by Len Wein, I believe? Yes. So I picked this one up. I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to finding the rest of these. But I never heard of this. I had no idea this existed. I missed this completely. That's what I miss, like having a Wizard magazine or something, right? Even the previews, like if you don't get the little, whatever it's called now, DC Direct or whatever, I miss things that are coming out. So there's a really happy accident to stumble on this. It's not always about spec, people. Sometimes it's just a book, and you see it and you're like, makes you smile. Always pick those up. Can't go wrong. Here's the last issue. You know what? I might have shown this one already. I showed this one already, I apologize, in the previous video. But this is the last issue of Detective Comics. This is an issue I pick up all the time, too. 881, this is like my third copy of this. The last issue of Detective Comics before it got rebooted. And then there was nothing to go after it, you know? It was weird. There's no letter page. There's no, like, goodbye. It's strange. And then I also picked up, I think I showed these two. If I did, I apologize. Shows you how many comics I have to put away in my comic room and reorganize. So after that one came the first issue of Detective Comics for the New 52. Detective Comics #1, first print. There's a bunch of printings of this one, but this is the first print. Very cool find for $1.50. I think I still got the $1.50 sticker on there. Got some cool Batmans from the Jim Lee run. Here's this iconic Batman versus Superman and Batman 612. Wasn't going to leave that alone for $1.50. Oh, man. Alan Moore's Swamp Thing. I love it. This is just a wonderful read, and the newsstand edition to boot. The Swamp Thing Annual #2. Swamp Thing Goes to Hell. This is like people consider this like a cameo appearance of Justice League Dark. You get a few dollars for this one, but I found it in really nice shape, so that was great. Love this book. And the first appearance of Jim Gordon's son, and I think the start of Scott Snyder on Batman. This is for Detective Comics 871. This is a book that pretty popular a few years ago, but I was happy to find it for $1.50. How these things end up at half price, I don't know, because clearly this is a collector that had this. Why did they just sell it in a big box at half price? I never understand, but I'm thrilled that they do. Great. Oh, I love this cover. And I always think this is the first appearance of the Ventriloquist. I love the Ventriloquist. It's not. It's the first appearance of Renee Montoya, Batman 475. Oh, that's a beautiful cover. I love this character. I love this cover. Cool book. For $1.50, great find. And I might have shown this one. See, I picked up so many from half price in the last 6 weeks. There's another book that I always pick up if I find it and it's in decent shape and under $5. Ghost Rider and Blaze Spirits of Vengeance #9, featuring the first appearance of Vengeance. Big souped up Ghost Rider character. So I'll always pick that up. Always specking on that one. Here's another first appearance I found. First appearance of Thunder and Lightning, New Teen Titans #32. Gorgeous George Perez cover. Is there a bad George Perez cover? So that was a nice find, again at half price. You never know what you'll find there. Including Iron Man 170, first Jim Rhodes in the Iron Man suit. That's a great cover. That's a pick up this book kind of cover. What's going on here? Who is this? Who's in the Iron Man suit? I need to know. That's great. I'm realizing I showed these two, so I'm gonna put this off to the side. All right, I got 2 more books here, people. 2 not from half price books. I got a lovely eBay gift card from my sister for my birthday. And I promptly spent it on Marvel Premiere #26. This gorgeous Jack Kirby Hercules cover. I love it. I love it so. It's just wonderful. You cannot go wrong with this book. I've always wanted this book in high grade. This is probably VF, near mint condition. Beautiful. Very happy to have this. Not quite as happy as I am, though, to have this one. So at my local comic shop, I got like 2 here in town. I've completely divorced from the one because they annoyed me and I can't go back there. So I go to one basically just for new books. They never have, their back issues are nothing past like 2015, right? It's all just new stock, new stock, new stock. Great people, very nice. But suddenly they start putting out random wall books, key books, way above the register. Like it's not eye level. Like you have to be like actively looking up and craning your neck to see it. And I'm in there like a week ago, and I see this book, and I'm like, oh, well, how much is this? And they're like, oh, it's pretty beat up, but it's affordable. Like, is it complete? Like, yeah. And I'm on my lunch hour. I always do these things on my lunch hour. I'm running around like a crazy person. I have like a 20-minute window to get stuff done. So I had to leave. It was busy. It's Wednesday. It was new comic book day. I had to leave. And I got back to my desk at work, and I'm just like, I called Comic Shop. I'm like, so that was complete? The Marvel value stamps in there and everything? Yeah. It's pretty rough, but like it's attached. Everything's together. Staples are binding. It's good, but you know, a little ugly. I said, okay. I got out of work. I ran right back to Comic Shop, and I picked up Incredible Hulk 180. First cameo appearance of Wolverine. Wolverine appears in the very last panel. There's big debates in the community. Is this the first appearance? Is 181 the first appearance? 181 is obviously the more desirable one because that's Wolverine on the cover. It's a much better cover. This cover's fine, but there's nothing to make you, there's no great eye appeal to this. But if you know what this is, you know what this is, and you know the last panel is Wolverine. And huge Bronze Age key for me. I'm so thrilled this came home with me. I started my day having no clue that I would come home with Hulk 180, and then I came home with Hulk 180. I love comic books. And that's what I have this time, people. That is my haul. Thank you so much. Comment, like, subscribe. Say hello to me. I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye-bye.